guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome, my name is Jasmine. I am so glad you guys are here. I love the fall, and I really love the fall. That's why I have this makeup with these colors. I really love the fall. I really love pumpkin and pumpkin spice. Anything pumpkin spice, that is me. Well, on this video I'm gonna share a new DIY that I did, mostly from the Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it. I feel like you could do this for the fall season, and then we could tweak it. That's going to challenge myself. I'm going to tweak it and make it then for Christmas. So stay tuned and subscribe to my channel so you'll see how I transform this maybe for Christmas. But in the meantime, here's a DIY that you guys do with me. Get it, do it together for the fall season. I think this is perfect as a centerpiece and also for outdoor. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to warn you, I did not have any more white acrylic paint, and we were in a hurry and the weather was horrible, so we just purchased acrylic paint from the Dollar Tree, and this was horrible. Like, I put a lot. I had to keep putting coat, and once it dries, you see the color still coming through the browns. But I think it worked perfectly for this DIY because I wanted it to have that wood look, and it was perfect. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did this. This was a little less than $5 from the products you see, but then in the inside you could just use any flowers from the Dollar Tree, or you could continue adding bows, or you could just have a nice arrangement. It's up to you. Use what you have. But everything else from the outside was about less than $5. So guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how I did this for the fall season. These are the items you're going to need: 2 signs, 2 small boxes, and the pumpkin, and these all total to $5. I think this were very helpful to really create that wood look that I was going for. But the first thing we're going to do, let's work on the pumpkin. And the pumpkin, you could guys leave it as is, or you guys could go ahead and paint it and give it a different touch. So what I did was I removed, the first thing is we removed any items on the top that is not going to be painted. And once you remove that carefully, you're going to go ahead and apply some paint. In this case, I wanted to cover the wording, so I just used orange and a touch of brown. And then once that dried, I did a different coat, and I added some orange with a touch of brown and a lot of white, just to make sure that it has all those different dimensions, different colors there. The white acrylic paint that I used was one that only had a little bit left, and I loved how much it was able to cover. But for the remaining of the project, you're gonna see that I use a different type of white paint, acrylic paint from the Dollar Tree, and that's the one that gave me problem, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Now that we finished with the pumpkins, let's work with the signs. What you're going to do is apply some white acrylic paint right on the back of the sign. On this case, I only painted just one side of it. Since we have 2 signs on this project, go ahead and paint the back side of each. One of them took longer to dry, so what I'm going to do now that the paint is dry, I'm going to use one of the signs as my guide. And as you see, there's some gap. I'm just going to trace it with the pen, and then I'm going to go over it with the ruler. That way it lets me know where that line is at, and that could just mimic the look of a piece of wood. So once you are happy with the marks that you selected, go ahead with the ruler and create those lines. You could use a pencil, you could use a pen, but once you're happy with the way the lines look like, then I went go over on top with a Sharpie, and I really like how you're able to see it even more. Once you have gone over the lines with the Sharpie, now I'm going to use a knife, or you want to make sure you want to cut that part because you want one of the part of the signs to be level, to be flat. That's going to be the bottom part of this box. You could cut both sides if you like. I just wanted to make sure the box still looks kind of tall, so that's why I only cut one side. The The next step is very easy. I'm going to use these boxes. I think they're so cute. I'm thinking of painting them white as well. I really like that they already have some lines, giving it that wood touch, which that's the same look we're going on the front of this box. So go ahead and make sure that it's level and just apply hot glue, and this is how it looks like. I glued both ends, and then I glued the other piece, the other sign piece. Now we're going to go ahead and move on and apply some hot glue to the foam, because this is where we're going to be applying all of our decorations. You could add a bottom if you like. You could use foam board if you like. I just left it open, and I like how it looks like. So go ahead and apply the foam board, and now we're going to apply the word and that leaf that we removed earlier. Go ahead and hot glue the words. One thing I wish I would have hot glued the thankful a little bit higher, because the decoration does cover the word a little bit. Here's the fun part. Now you could add any decorations to give it that fall look. Here I have a mesh, which I'm going to apply right behind and hot glue that on behind that sign. Also hot glue the pumpkin on the other back part of the sign, and just get creative. Here I'm just going to add a touch of bows, and I'm going to start adding some of those flowers. Most of these flowers I got from the Dollar Tree. Only one set I got from Walmart, but everything else you see here was from the Dollar Tree, and you could just use everything that you have just to add and give it the touches you want to add to this wood box. I just love how this came out. We were able to create a wood box using items from the Dollar Tree. I love this. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this DIY. So now let's go ahead and get started with the second DIY. I just love how this DIY came out, and I just can't believe that this tree is over 40 inches tall, and I used all the items from the Dollar Tree. Disregard the lights, they did not work, but everything else, as you see, I got a few branches of the leaves. I got 2 packs of the maple leaves. I used a stick, and I used that container. That was the only container I was able to find at my Dollar Tree. And then I started with the brown bag. The brown bag is just to cover up the pole itself. I did not want to paint it because this has like a shine to it, and I knew that my acrylic paint was not going to cover it. So I feel like this worked best because it gave me those look effect of the tree. So go ahead and cut it, and I feel like just one bag was enough. I just removed the bottom part, and I was able to use one of those sides, the ones that fold, and I used that as my guide, and I go ahead and traced it to cut enough to use around the pole. Once you have those papers set, you might just need 2 bags, but that's okay. You're gonna start hot gluing, and this one still had a border, so I started from this bottom part of the mop, and I just applied a little bit of the hot glue to make sure that both of the papers come together, and it was also touching the pole itself so that way it doesn't slide. And then just continue applying a little bit of that hot glue all throughout so it sticks. Once I hot glued the paper bag all around the pole, here comes the fun part. All I did was take a little bit of that acrylic paint, and I used the one from the Dollar Tree. The color is brown, and I just went strokes up and down, leaving a few gaps, not putting a lot of color on my brush, and I did that all throughout the pole. And I really like how it gives it that different character to the pole itself. You see different colors and the texture, so it does really look like a nice branch. So I really like how this came out. Now once we finish with that, we're gonna start working on the leaves. Next, take a piece of foam, measure first before you hot glue anything. I was going to apply the light, but it did not work. So just make sure that you have enough foam to go in the center, but to go around too. And that's exactly what I did. Once I was happy with how it looks like, then I hot. We will add that and connect that to the bucket later on. But now let's go ahead and spread one of the branches and remove the tag. Here you see that this is the maple leaves. They come in different colors. I just got a little bit of each, and at first I started with 4. I hot glue, and I wanted to see how well it goes, and I'm going to show you exactly how deep it was or how far in it was in the top of the pole. So go ahead and apply hot glue and apply that branch right on top. Once I let that sit for a little bit, I added another one across from it, and then I added 2 more, and this is how it looks like. I did make sure to open the branches, but they still seem so empty, and this is when those leaves that I purchased, that pack that brought 50 leaves, comes in handy. So what I started to do was I started to hot glue some of those leaves on every single one of those branches to fill it in, and then it looked so much better. Once I finished with this look, then what I did was I purchased 3 to 4 more branches, and I added that more a little bit lower from where I hot glued the first 4 set, just to give it a more dimension. But you could just leave it with the 4 branches, and adding all these leaves, it really added so much volume to this tree. And you could just keep adding. Once I added the next set, I also hot glue some leaves in between. Now that once you're happy with how the tree looks like, then this is what we add, and add that to the foam. We cut it and we make sure that it's hot glue, so the pole with the tree with the foam is stable with the bucket. I hot glued that on the bottom, and then I added more foam and also some rocks, white rocks that I got from the Dollar Tree, which I forgot to add that. And then at the end I just did 2 bows of mesh. So guys, this is the final result. I am so happy with this maple tree. I love it. No matter where I put it in my house, it looks so cute. You guys could put it outside, you could put it indoor. It looks so pretty and it is so tall. I did measure it and it was over 40 inches. So you guys could also add more leaves as you like. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed both of these DIY. And as you can see, you can make so many creative things just from the Dollar Tree. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a like if you like this video, and until the next video, bye.